What is up, EKN Nation? How are you? SuperNationals 25 is really underway. If you, to be honest about things, here at the ekartingnews.com world headquarters, and of course the different offices we have nowadays with David and Nate. My name is Rob Howden. Again, our previews are already underway. We've seen those on the website earlier on. This is our first primetime OutLap show. Thanks for tuning in, guys. This is going to be a good one. It is 8 o'clock on a Friday evening. I can't believe it's Friday already. Earlier today, I was like, man, it's not Friday already. This week blew by, David. It's crazy.
Yeah, it went by really quick. It just felt like I woke up Monday looking and anticipating the entry lists, and then boom, now we're Friday and we're already talking previews. We're talking 5 different categories today, and it was just, if you can tell by my eyes, it was just a blur going by with a lot of work here and a lot of work off the scene as well too.
Yeah, the great thing is, obviously, folks, you're seeing that we have the previews up, the actual class by class previews on the website. We're sending those out as well to the EKN Nation email bulletin. So if you're not a member of EKN Nation yet, make sure you sign up for that. You get all our email bulletins. Three of them are out, David, right? Already out now?
Yeah, we just published KA100 Junior today. We already have Micro and Mini already published, so we'll do. Normally we get the previews out beforehand, but we wanted to do this show on Friday because you have plans on Monday. I have plans on Monday. It just made for a little bit of a chaotic day to try and do it Monday, so we're doing it tonight. So we'll get a couple classes that we haven't previewed on the website, and we'll talk about it a little bit today. So kind of give you an idea of who we're thinking and what we're thinking before the previews even are published.
Yeah, so previews will keep coming over the multiple days. First OutLap episode is today. Second OutLap will be next Friday. Let's jump in here, David. This particular edition of the OutLap is brought to you by Parolin USA.
Sorry.
It's all good. It all started in 1994 when former kart driver Albino Parolin decided to move his passion from karting to the track into his small workshop. That's when Parolin was born. Parolin USA is North America's source for Parolin products, and we run a factory team at all the major Superkarts USA, USPKS, and Rock Cup USA events. The Parolin chassis lineup for 2022 includes the Invader shifter, the Le Mans Tag single-speed chassis for junior and senior drivers, the 28mm Opportunity model for cadet classes, and the Daytona 4-cycle chassis. Get on the chassis that's winning. Drive a Parolin. For more information, head to ParolinUSA.com. And again, talking about the Superkarts USA SuperNationals number 25, 25th edition for me. What is it for you, David? Is this 20 or is this 19 for you?
This should be 18.
18 for you?
Yeah, hold on. I got to do some.
Well, you think about that.
Talk to Nate. Yeah.
As part of e-karting news, it'll be the first one for Nate D. Nate, we kind of cruised you in for the first 5 months of working for the website, and then we threw you to the deep end for the SuperNats because you have been busting your butt. All the great stuff you see, all the great content, the graphics we see coming from Nate. How's it been so far, Nate? We're kind of throwing you in the deep end for this year's SuperNats.
I mean, it's a big event, so a lot of preparation is to be expected, but it's all just building up and building the anticipation, ready to get to Vegas, ready to see some racing. And
that's it.
Yeah, it's really looking forward to third SuperNats.
That's good. So third for you. That's awesome.
18 for me. So this will be my 18th. Yeah, 2004, my first year. And we'll see. I think that's coming up soon. The memories from that, again, just phenomenal. The first one at Sam Boyd Stadium. So
yeah,
that was my first one.
That was your first one. That's exactly right. We had just bought ekartingnews.com off of Glenn Holland and Brian Stiver, and away we went and started doing trackside coverage. That was a lot of fun. If I'm not mistaken, didn't we do it out of Ron Joint's motorhome?
Yeah, Ron Joint's motorhome in the paddock is essentially where we positioned computers and everything else like that. That was kind of our home base because there wasn't like the tower we have nowadays or somewhere else. The next 2 years after that, we actually rented our own RV. I remember that. So we were able to keep everything in the RV right next to, they even used it for scoring, I think, one year. So
one year they did. Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a wild ride. Again, 18 different, this would be my 18th race. Or 18th SuperNationals, and it's just, again, the only downside is I never got to go to the Xplex. I never got to go to Las Vegas Karting Center.
Well, the crazy thing is I've done them all, right? This is my 25th this year. I don't really remember that much about the first one. I was there with National Kart News, and I did a little bit of work on the mic. I can't remember who I was with. The next year, number 2 in 98, Jim Murley had hired a guy that did the Oklahoma street race. It was some country music radio station guy. I remember that every time because he did dirt track racing, and every time the checker flag flied, he'd say, checks are down on the speedway. So I kind of remember working with him a bit. I remember a little bit about that. A lot more about that one. Not much about the very first one.
Well, but you were also launching the magazine as well.
The second one. Yeah, exactly.
The second one,
yeah, 100%. Those are good times. But yeah, again, Nate's on board. We're all on board. Let's get into this. Let's say this right now, folks. Those of you who are tuning in, this is interactive. If you have questions, feel free to put them, whether you're listening on Facebook or watching on Facebook or on YouTube. Either the comment sections, that'll pop up for us here, and we can bring that potentially into the show if you have any questions. We see Doug Fleming already tuning in, Rainier Bug tuning in. Robert Feege is coming in as well. Scusa champion, right, in the master shifter category, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Great master shifter category that we'll talk about.
And we'll answer his question here in a little bit. That's
right.
one of the first order things on screen.
Oh my God. We'll come back to that for sure. All right. So let's get rocking here right now. What do we start with? Let's dive into the event notes right now. Let's start with that, guys. David, it's really interesting. The track under 7/10 of a mile. Essentially, the track we saw in 19 and 20, right? No, 18 and 19, right? We didn't have one in 20. Yes, 18 and 19, but running in the reverse direction. I don't know how much changes they may make trackside, but it's gonna be interesting. The number one going into turn one, the right-hander, whatever you're gonna call that, the right-hand opening corner, which is back to a hairpin again, which we haven't had for a while, and then 2 hairpins to finish the lap. Wow.
Let's just start with the opening corner, because it does kind of bring that retro, when I started going to the Rio type layout, because this is the direction we went. And turn one was that kinked turn one section. If you recall, one of the most viewed videos of all time was Josh Lane spinning in the wet, going backwards, dropping the clutch, and then powering off to gain 2 positions while after spinning. So, So it depends on the way they lay things out, because even between 18 and 19, that section there after that, before that corner going the opposite direction, was a little different each year. So
yeah, it's true.
I'm not quite sure how they're going to lay all that out. I think, what we're used to, where we're situated at, is going to be very similar to what we've seen in years past. And then you come around down the pit grid straightaway. That's going to be about the same. That'll be about the same going again that way. I should next time I'll put the track map up.
Yeah, we should have brought the track map up.
Yeah. I do have it. But anyway, so so I it just depends on the way they build the racetrack. I mean, that's what it boils down to. Yeah. But I do like this direction. It just kind of reminds you of the first or the second stint and third stint at the Rio.
Hey, listen, the very first time we came here, we ran clockwise.
Okay.
Back in 2003, 2002, 2002.
2002. Yep.
Yeah, we ran all the way down the back straightaway, and everybody diving into turn number one. Yeah, that was 100% the way we ran when we first got here. So that should be interesting. One of the key things, obviously, is the way the track there's kind of like a natural amphitheater that they build. There you go, David. Well played. Well played, sir. Well played.
Keep going.
Good job.
Keep talking about it.
So as you come through turn 8, 9, so 9 and 10, you're essentially going to have that big sweeping through turn 8.
Yeah.
Guys are going to potentially defend to the inside there. And then there's a chance for a couple of over-unders. And then the checkered, of course, the start-finish line after you come out of the corner. And David, right in front, essentially the grandstands are there. That's where our tower will be. We'll, of course, be working with Kart Chaser on that. But that's turn 10's the entire VIP area at the racetrack as well. So really, it's going to be interesting and exciting for the fans that are right there when we're talking about main event finishes on Super Sunday.
Yeah, that's the key aspect, is the finishing area. I think that's what they're bringing in, like you said, that turn 10 section, that's VIP area right there, and then leading to the start or to the finish line is all the grandstands. So it's going to be a thrilling area to be standing and watching because of the way the finish is coming. Because again, other years past, you see where that arrow is on the long straightaway. That's where the start finish line used to be in the old days. In this direction. So just where that David arrow Sarah. Is up at the top. Yeah, ask David Sarah, exactly. So it was away from everybody. And then, when we moved over to the West Gate and the Las Vegas Convention Center, we were like, we got to put the start finish line in front of the stands. And so they listened, and we've done that every year since then. But now we'll be able to see 3 corners before the checkered flag rather than just the last corner. So
I think 8, 9, and 10 are going to be absolutely thrilling. It's going to be a ton of fun to watch how these races are going to end up being all told defensive, inside, outside, which you're going to be able to do for sure. David, I know you got that there. Let's go through the actual schedule. For those who may not know how the SuperNationals work, it's a Wednesday to Sunday event. Wednesday, 4 rounds of practice, Thursday practice, and then qualifying at the very end of the day as well. So, but morning and afternoon sessions, they split things up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. We have the morning classes and we have the afternoon classes. And I didn't put it in my script, but we have the KA Junior, KA Senior, KA Master in the morning, as well as I believe Mini Swift.
I think so.
Or Micro Swift. Sorry, Micro Swift.
Yep.
And then all the other categories are going to be in the afternoon group. So yeah, again, but at the end of your round on that day, on Thursday, it's going to be qualifying time. And that's when, all the chips are in. That's going to be a very key aspect in terms of this racetrack and in terms of how your week progresses. And again, for those categories that are going to have LCQs, such as KA100 Senior, KA100 Junior now, along with Pro Shifter, which is going to be amazing. We'll talk about that in our next one, and other categories as well. So again, it's going to be a great, again, we're used to this format. Again, you go in 2 rounds of heat races on Friday. Our last round of heat races and the LCQs on Saturday. So Saturday's kind of that situation Saturday that Chris Wheeler has penned since being there. Yep. And then Super Sunday with all the main events. Again, it's a great format. I love this format.
I do too.
Allows for, again, you're for the morning shift, you get to watch and enjoy the afternoon. If you're in the afternoon, you can kind of sleep in and then go catch a little bit of the morning groups before you get on track.
I get to work, which is good. I can work in the afternoon.
There you go.
That works. Again, so as David said, going through the Saturday, of course, warm up in the final round of heats, 2 rounds of heats on Friday, set things up. LCQs as well on Saturday, just a couple of LCQs. Sunday, of course, main events. A little bit of a warm up, not long for a warm up on Sunday morning, Super Sunday morning, opening ceremonies, and then we rock and roll through. I'll tell you, Kart Chaser's got a couple of cool things lined up for driver introductions as well. So that's going to be a lot of fun to watch. I know we have a little weather-wise thing, Dave. Have you even looked long-term yet on weather? I know we're still a long way away. I think we're over 10 days away from practice, right?
Well, we know it's a little bit colder there right now
Yeah.
With Rock Vegas going on. It's a little bit cooler and colder and windier, as we found out yesterday. Looking ahead, though, I think it's going to be mid-60s right now is what the forecast is looking at. We'd like to see it bump up into the 70s a little bit. So, again, it's kind of a wait and see. I think maybe next Friday when we do our part 2 show, we'll have kind of a more general idea on what the weather will be. So
as we do all the time in our OutLap podcast, we do our by the numbers. We have a look at the amount of entries, and the entries are absolutely staggering this year. I was actually looking back to, I think I was just looking at the year that Mandarino won, and I want to say they were right around 260 something, 270 entries that year. So really we're probably double that, because I think they're over 540 entries, total entries. So you think about how big the race is going back to those days as it was back when we were at Sam Boyd Stadium. But David,
I got the number. It was 254 that year. 254
that year. So that just gets you just a little bit over 500. And we are right now lining up at 578 pre-entries. Let's have a look, though, David. Micro Swift, pretty much where it's been. You don't get a lot of big differences here unless they open a cap up. So
right.
46 last year, 47 drivers in Micro Swift this year. They did cap Mini Swift. Last year it was open. They got 62. They capped it this year. David, down to 49 entries for that. And people may wonder, hey, I thought it was only 44 entries for an open class. They always go up about 5-6 more, because SCUSA over the years realizes that you normally get about 10% cancellations. We've already seen some cancellations coming through to update our notes. So they always go a little bit more. So you may see 49 or 48, 49. It may whittle down a bit before we get to Super Sunday.
That's exactly it. Yeah. So with Mini and Micro capped off, again, they have a little bit over that 44 mark. They opened up KA100 Junior. That was the cool thing. We were wondering, this has been one of the more popular categories, maybe about second or third in terms of the largest group, no matter where you go, SCUSA Pro Tour, everywhere else in the country. So they did open that up, and we able to get 65 this year. So it's the first year that they've opened it up, in the 4th year that they've offered the category. So numbers are looking good for that. And I would expect to see that number grow if they continue to keep it open to 88 number.
Yeah, Robert asking what the entry count was last year. That was at 486 entries.
Yep.
Was the entry count last year out at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And I think he's asking what you think the increase is. Nate, what are your thoughts? Bring Nate in here a little bit. What do you think about increases? Is it COVID? Is it the excitement of the 25th, you think?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's just with COVID kind of in the past at this point, people starting to come back to the races. I mean, at least from a local level, we've definitely seen a jump a little bit, but obviously not a 486 to 578, which is just huge.
You know where I'll put some of it on. Look at the next one. Master Shifter, 19 last year, 40 drivers, essentially a full field for Master Shifter. I think the resurgence of Shifter is one of the biggest things we've had this year, David.
Well, the resurgence of Shifter certainly helps, but also the international drivers.
Welcome back, Australia.
Welcome back, Australia. They have 57 drivers coming this year, to where I don't think we had any last year. So you add, look at that, you have 57 drivers there. You add the 20 more in Master Shifter. There's a bunch right there already. And as we go through, by the numbers on some of the categories, there's a lot of first-time SuperNationals drivers here. So a lot of drivers, especially in micro, mini, and the junior categories, a lot of drivers who have never been here before, to where, drivers are moving up to different categories. So we'll see that kind of shrink down when we get into the senior categories, because a lot of them have been here before. But in the younger categories, and especially in Master Shifter, there's a lot of new blood.
So we'll get ready to roll into this now. Here's one of the different things for our SuperNationals Primetime OutLap Preview podcast. It's not just about us talking about the event, who's coming in, maybe the points coming into the race, if it's a midway point through a season. We do our predictions here as well, and I'm going to give this disclaimer from the very beginning, because
we haven't even started talking about.
I understand that. We're going to jump into MicroSwift. We'll give you a little update on it, but we'll give you the disclaimer. Actually, I'll hold the disclaimer until we go to right before predictions, so that people don't start lambasting us quickly on what is on the internet.
But no, I want that. Bring it. I remember I always challenge that. Again, you're the leader.
You literally got called out on the podium by Derek Wang last year.
That was amazing. I love it. That's so what I feed off of that. I love it.
Parallel USA is the class sponsor for the MicroSwift category. 14 entries, as we talked about. Last year's winner was Keelan Harvick, Bradley Majman. We talked about Australia, winner in 2019. Ben Mayer in 18. Vinnie Phillips from the UK in 2017. And Brazilian Vinicius Tessaro winning in 2016. David, let's have a look at the SCUSA Pro Tour points. It is a SCUSA event. You kind of figure those guys in the SCUSA Pro Tour points are going to probably fare pretty well for the big race of the year.
Yeah, they're going to do pretty well, considering all five of them have been racing against one another. You look at Rocco Simone; he's coming in as the SCUSA Pro Tour champion. He and Troy Ferguson actually tied for overall points, so a tiebreaker helped to decide that one this year. Royce Vega, Jackson Gibson, and Nicholas Orbezo were right there all season long, and all five of them have really shown the ability to be up front and contend for wins. You know what I love? I love the fact that in these first two categories we're talking about, micro and mini, we don't have any winners. So somebody's going to be a full first-time winner. Obviously, micro is a newer class, but nobody who has won micros in micro, nobody who's won in minis in mini either. And David, one of the other numbers you got here, again, this is an international race, and to have people back after what happened with COVID, 8 different countries represented in MicroSwift. Yeah, that's a key element, again, to, I think, part of the reason why we have such a large number, not only because of the 25th running and because of COVID kind of being in the background now, that it allows for the international drivers to be able to come and be part of this, be part of the event again, because a lot of them had travel restrictions, whether they couldn't leave the country or whether they couldn't come to the US. Again, just lots of different scenarios in that. So again, great to see that. And it helps to, again, this is one of those categories where we are questioning, when it first started, why are we doing this? But now we see it because these kids get these couple of years under their belts, get accustomed to the mini Swift engine, actually, but the restricted side of it, and become more comfortable with racing it and racing against one another in some of these bigger packs and understanding the passing concept. And really, every year that it's been at the SuperNationals, it's been really great racing.
Yeah, agreed. What else we got? 12 drivers with actually SuperNationals experience in the micro category, 17 drivers coming in from outside the U.S. And David, as you mentioned, 35 first-time SuperNationals competitors. Now, maybe that's not a big thing in the micro category. They're all brand new, right? A lot of these kids, and we'll do the same thing when we go to mini at 25 guys with their first ever SuperNats. But again, always fun to see the young kids come to the SuperNationals for the first time. This is a big race. This is the first time they've come to this major event.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of an eye-opening experience. Again, just kind of, that's where I think, when we look at our predictions, we're going with guys who have been there already and guys who have been racing at the front of the field already. So, but don't be surprised to see any of these first timers be, not worry about what's going on around them and be able to just put the pedal to the metal and be able to be right up front and run, be one of the contenders.
They don't, because they've never been here before. Maybe they don't just know the magnitude of it, right? They just come in and just go. Like we've seen that before.
And also you're 8 years old. Like, what does Vegas mean to you?
Exactly. That's very true. Yeah. Whatever. Another racetrack, another parking lot.
Nate, what does it mean to you? No, I'm
21 years
He's
old.
21. He's 21. That's right. He's
not
8.
Oh, that's right.
Oh.
So let's dive into this here. And because listen, guys, Nate's going to be the first one. We're going to throw him into the wolves on the predictions every time. But so we do predictions. Now, again, we know that there's 40 something people in the class. There's always, a dozen guys probably that can win, maybe even more sometimes. And yeah, your driver may not get picked. They may not be picked to win, whatever it may be. Enjoy this. If you're not picked, use it as motivation. And if you are picked, have fun with it. We know we get lots of barbs back and forth. David says he feeds on it. We kind of laugh it off. And like I said, Derek Wang literally calling out David for. I don't even think you picked Wang in the top 5, did you?
I didn't. No,
I picked him to win.
Yes, he had struggled every SuperNationals prior to last year. So right. maybe being at the Speedway certainly helped. And I can't pick him this year because he won't be there.
That's true. All right, so we're going to get started. So we picked the top 5, and so we'll throw the graphic up, and then we'll let the person who picks get an opportunity to kind of talk through it a little bit here right now. You don't have to go too crazy into it, but Nate, you're first. You're on deck. Let's get that Micro Swift pick for Nate Dean up. Nate, give us a rundown of why you picked the 5 you did.
Right. So a lot of this is going strictly off of what I've seen this year and what I witnessed firsthand at USPKS. I have Royce Vega taking the win, Rocco Simone in second. You guys picked him to win, so I thought I would try and do something different.
Don't throw us out.
No,
don't throw.
No, you can't do that.
You can't talk about ours yet. New? Well, that's right. You are new.
So I got Nicholas Orbezo in third, Jackson Potter fourth, Cameron Marcia kind of the wild card in fifth. Want to throw another name in there who's had a good season through the Stars of Karting and through Route 66. Other than that, like Rob said, if I don't pick you, I'm wrong anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Hey, listen, and I like the wild card. David and I often do that, throw a little wild card pick in just to have some fun, right?
Well, it is Vegas after all, right? You got to have, again, you get a rogue die, you get a rogue card, you get, and sometimes you get a bad flop. It's Vegas. Sometimes, hey, come on, you got to bring in all the Vegas terms. Just come on now.
I do want to say this, so let's bring it up. So there's Royce Vega. That's Nate Dean's pick for the win. I want to say this right now, and I forgot to talk about it. I should have pulled the belt down. I won last year. So David and I have always gone head to head. He has a point system that he uses. How many guys
created it? Don't lie. You created it.
Did I create it? All right.
You created it. Yeah.
How many guys you have in the top 5? How many are in the right spot? That kind of thing for extra points. It's more points if you pick the actual winner. So I was able to. I don't think it's the first time I've won last year.
It's been a while.
I don't normally.
It might have been it might have been the first time. If not, you might have won the first one, maybe 2. But you won last year 36-33. So only 3 points. So not a lot. Again, we haven't really had like a massive advantage in terms of winning. So the winning margin has been pretty slim.
I'll say this: if Nate Dean wins, you'll never see him on a broadcast again.
Oh wow! You're calling that out after just one class already.
Yeah, maybe that's a little aggressive.
All right,
all right, David Cole, what do you got for micro?
Yeah, as Nate ruined my my prediction. I do have Rocco Simone, the Pro Tour champion. I think he's just been a little bit more consistent up front and has the opportunity to be there. But don't count out Troy Ferguson. Again, those two tied for the Pro Tour championship, and I think they'll be right there as well. And again, I'm keeping the entire top 5 of the Pro Tour championship in there. Kind of mixed up the order a little bit, putting Orbezo up into 3rd. He's been kind of impressive in the second half of the season. But so has Royce Vega, been right there, got a win as well, too, at USPKS as well. Jackson Gibson, I think, is the only driver that hasn't won out of these 5. But again, I picked him last year, and I'm going to keep with him. I might have picked him 3rd last year, if I recall. But I'm still going to put him in the top 5. I still got Jackson Gibson in there, and I'm going to put him in the 5th spot.
There you go. All right, David Cole going for Rocco Simone. Let's bring mine up. We'll have a look at my picks for micro. And, David Cole and I are very this is a reason why it's hilarious that we're so close, because we normally don't look at each other, we don't talk. Just so you guys know, we don't talk about it beforehand. It's the first time we see it, actually. I picked Rocco Simone. He's just been so good, and I feel like this momentum has grown throughout the year for him from where I saw him for the first time at the start of the year at the SCUSA Winter Series. He and Troy Ferguson, I think the battle's going to be great. Royce Vegas dialed things up as well, as has Orbezo, and I'm right there with you, Jackson Gibson. I think if he has a clean run and can avoid any mistakes, I think Jackson will be in the top 5 as well. So that's kind of my pick there. I'm going Rocco Simone up top. Nate Dean's the outlier with Royce Vegas. So
the new guy normally is, right?
Yeah, true enough. So there you go, folks. That is the Micro Swift predictions for us. There you go. This is going to be good. Micro Swift done. Ready to step up your game? Joining the Rawlison Performance Group is the obvious choice to take your racing to the next level. Industry-leading driver development is provided by our staff of multi-time national champions, SuperNationals winners, and Team USA members. And at the same time, RPG continues to be a national-level powerhouse race team. Our goal is to help you raise your game and win races. We work with all age groups and are focused on developing those cadet and junior drivers who are ready to take the next step in their racing program. Rawlison Performance Group has set a new standard with our in-house engine program, AVP Engines, headed by Alex Vincent. AVP has become the benchmark in IAME competition. We have the largest OTK inventory that follows our race team, providing trackside parts at all the major events in North America. RPG also offers multilingual support with French, Spanish, and Portuguese-speaking staff. If you want to fight for championships or want to improve your skills and your chances to win, the answer is to call RPG at 503-260-4514. The Rawlison Performance Group. We race to win. In racing, experience is priceless. Franklin Motorsports is a leader in the karting industry with over 50 years of combined karting experience, and we can provide you with everything you need to go racing. With a large online product selection, select track support events, and a wide variety of shop services, Franklin Motorsports is your complete karting source. Check out our online store at www.franklinkart.com, where all our products are just a mouse click away. We're constantly adding to the growing product selection on the online store, and we ship daily to ensure products get to you quickly. We specialize in IAME engines, tilt seats, ceramic products, driveline branded products, Briggs & Stratton engines, OTK products, and of course, the championship-winning Merlin chassis. In our online store, you'll find a variety of items to fill your karting needs. Franklin Motorsports is also known for our wide variety of services and is home to Innovative Engine Works by FMS, our in-house engine service department. Frame straightening, kart prep, and dyno testing are all services offered regularly at Franklin Motorsports. For all things karting, visit franklinkart.com. You can buy all the latest and greatest products on the market, but when you're karting to win, it boils down to one thing: you, the driver. Gain the knowledge and abilities by investing in yourself at the Alan Rudolph Racing Academy, and you'll find those extra tenths of a second you need to put yourself on the podium. The school was established by Superkarts USA Hall of Fame driver Alan Rudolph, with decades of victories and championships in multiple forms of the sport, including other disciplines of racing. The Alan Rudolph Racing Academy, located at the Speed Sports Racing Park in the metropolitan Houston area, is designed to teach driving skills at all levels. The instructors of the academy have decades of racing experience and educating drivers of all ages. Classes at the academy will teach the concepts and skills needed both behind the wheel and off the track. From the beginning kart racing experience and intro to karting courses to their advanced 1-day and 2-day courses and karting clinics, the Alan Rudolph Racing Academy can improve the skills of any driver. For more information on the specific programs that the Alan Rudolph Racing Academy can provide for you, head to speedsports.com and click on the Racing Academy page. Be sure to follow the Academy on social media by searching for Alan Rudolph Racing Academy. Come on, David.
Yeah, I forgot. Sorry. There we go. Go ahead. Just keep going. Yeah, just give it. Yeah.
And we're back.
Well, don't worry about. Yeah,
No, that's good. That's the cut, folks, for our podcast that we're going to do later on. David just kind of dropped the ball.
Again,
on that
I needed like 2 more hours to get this synced up a little bit better. I'm still kind of moving.
We've been like it, folks. I'm telling you, we have been on. David's writing previews.
I mean, you can tell Nate's hair. I mean, it's all over the place.
Yeah, Nate's been going up with his hair on fire. Graphics. These graphics got built this morning, by the way, because we just made our picks last night.
Phenomenal job too.
Yeah, they look fantastic, no doubt. Mini Swift brought to you by Speed Concepts Racing, the class sponsor of this year's SuperNationals. 49 entries, so a massive field. We mentioned Enzo Vidmontien already a little bit there. He is the reigning winner last year in the mini category. We'll watch him move up into the junior class. Kai Sorensen, a winner as well back in 19. Brent Cruz in 18. Connor Zilich, some pretty heavy hitters, right? And then Thomas Nouveau as well back in 2016. I think I called him Thomas Nepfu back then, but it's Thomas Nouveau. I know that one right now. I've got that knocked in. So as well, David, you go further back because it wasn't just the mic. It wasn't just the IAMI. We had the Tag Cadet, and that the Tag Cadet was back on the Vortex. It was on the Mini Rock.
It first started back in it was the Mini Rock back in 2010, if I recall correctly. I'm not sure what year we changed because we kept the tag name going for a couple years when SCUSA moved over to IAMI. So
I can't remember.
I want to say it was 14 or 15.
Yeah.
I think it might have been 14 that we moved to IAMI, or Superkarts USA moved to IAMI. So I think we got 10, 11, 12, and 13 all on the Mini Rock engine for Tag Cadet. And again, they kept the name Tag Cadet for the first couple of years, and then they went to call it Mini.
Let me bring one thing in because Kevin Coleman says Cameron Marsha is missing in all of your top fives. He's not. Nate Dean.
He's not.
Dean picked Cameron Marsha.
Hold on. Let's go back.
Let's bring it back.
Oh, I deleted it. Never mind.
Okay. so Kevin, no. Nate Dean actually picked Cameron Marsha. And again, that's one of the things we're going to leave guys out, right? And that's one of the things for sure.
Well, that's the hardest part.
I hate leaving. I know. In the end, it's like, man, I just wait. And you guys don't realize that there's always like that fifth, sixth guy. You want to bring somebody in, somebody out, somebody in. And it drives me crazy.
Yeah.
Going back to those Tag Cadet days, couple pretty good drivers winning. Patricio Award, Pato Award, one of them back in 2010. And Logan Sargent as well, who's potentially going to be in Formula One next year with Williams if he gets the super license points. Which I'm sure he will.
The winner in 2012, he's playing football for University of Houston right now, Anthony Ganji Jr.
Ganji Jr. That's right.
That's pretty good.
That's awesome.
So it's hard to go from karting to football. Not a lot of people do that.
No, you're right. Let's look at Pro Tour points. Jack Iliff, the point champion in the category, but not racing here this weekend. Jack will not be at the Pro Tour, or rather will not be at the SuperNationals. Lucas Palacio coming home in second spot this year. Gage Bailey, Asher Augstein, and Tyler Roberts, the top 5 in the Superkarts USA Pro Tour points. David, you got some more notes. Fill us in on some of the numbers you put together for the Mini Swift class.
Well, let's continue on with that Iliff scenario, because there's a lot of mini drivers that we've seen throughout the season that will not be at SuperNationals, including Jack Iliff. We have Keelan Harvick. He's going to be also racing in Europe alongside Iliff. You have Oliver Weldon, who's moved up to the junior ranks. Isaac Malcutt, WK Grand National winner, CKNA Grand National winner, and then the Rotex Grand National winner, wasn't Rotax. It was U.S. Trophy Final. No, he wasn't there.
Final.
It was was he there?
Gage, he wasn't there for.
Oh no, it's the Miami Grand National. That's what he won. Sorry,
right.
So it was 3 Grand Nationals. I got it mixed up there. So he's not on the entry list. So he's not going to be there. And along with Gage Korn, who actually will be racing out the Rotax Grand Finals for Team USA. So a number of champions not going to be at the Super Nationals. So essentially, as I said in the preview, that's going to open things up big time in this mini Swift category.
That could be a top 5 right there.
Well, easily.
That could easily be your podium.
I mean, Weldon, no, because he's already moved up. So
that's true. That's true.
So
that's very
for
true.
the 4 or 5, that definitely is. But so again, with Harvick not being there, that again, no former winners in the field. We don't have any micro drivers that are going to be in the mini field this year. 8 different countries represented in the field. That is with 15 different drivers from outside the United States. We have 14 drivers who competed in micro last year that are moving up into mini. So a good crop of micro drivers, mini rookie drivers in this field. And then as we keep going along, 22 first-time SuperNationals competitors in this field.
All right, now it's time to look at the predictions. Let's move that sheet over. Nate Dean, let's see what you got. What are your picks for mini Swift?
So, going with Ashton Woon for the win. Seems like he's had a strong 2022, and hopefully, for the sake of these picks, continues that into Vegas. Tyler Roberts, 3rd. Ethan Tovo in 3rd. Then I have Max Christie and Jesse Phillips in 5th.
Well, the Jesse Phillips is an interesting pick because he finished 6th in micro last year. So he's one of those drivers moving up. Ashton Woon, another micro driver moving up. He already ran mini Swift at Superkarts USA competition. So it's a little interesting that you got a couple. Even Ethan Tovo was a micro driver as well too. So three mini rookies in the top 5 there.
And Tovo does have good experience. He was 2nd last year, right? Wasn't it? It was Ethan that went at it with Harvick last year.
Yeah, no? We have Ethan Tovo was 2nd in micro. We have Ashton Woon was 5th in micro last year. What was Jesse Phillips? Jesse Phillips was 6th last year in micro. So 3 of the top 6 from micro you have picked in the top 5 for mini this year.
I like it.
Interesting pick.
He's going off the script.
Well, that's what the new guy does, right?
That's right.
You gotta try something.
He's gonna try something.
And again, it's Vegas. Sometimes odds are better this way. Sometimes odds are better this way.
Winner's got to buy the drinks on Sunday, just so you know.
Oh. I don't think Nate's agreed to that yet.
It'll still be me. Let's not worry about that. All right, Cole. What do you got?
We are having our steak dinner on Sunday.
We're doing the. Because
you're racing now. We have to delay that.
Yeah, I can't do that. That's right. Especially right in the morning. My goodness. Yeah, we're having our anniversary dinner. We launched the magazine. We launched Howden Media Group in 1998 at the SuperNationals. So this will be the big anniversary dinner again. Lots of people coming in for this one. David, what do you got for mini?
Gianmatteo Rousseau, one of the international drivers coming in. He's fresh off victory at the Miami Warrior Final in Le Mans, France. He's actually a micro graduate. So we're kind of keeping that string because he actually finished 7th last year in micro. So it's an interesting move. The Panama driver, we've seen him at Superkarts USA before. He's a Pro Tour champion in the micro division. And so I just really think he's obviously got enough. He knows the drivers here. He knows how to race here. And he's been gaining more and more knowledge and experience over in Europe. I think that's just we've seen it before. Connor Zillage, we've seen it with other drivers as well. They go to Europe for October and they come over here to SuperNationals and it pays off with a victory. So Turner Brown, one of my 2 sleeper picks, maybe 3 sleeper picks in this category. Again, everything's kind of wide open, I think, with those drivers we mentioned that are not going to be there. So I got Turner Brown finishing in 2nd. I think the CRG is certainly solid, and and it's I don't know. I think he's going to be good. He's been certainly fast since he's moved over to CRG. I have Tyler Roberts finishing in 3rd. I think he's going to be one of the more experienced drivers in the field. Again, just the way things shake out, I just have him slotted in 3rd. I think he's going to do well all weekend long. He's going to keep it super clean, stay out of trouble, and be there at the end. Anything can happen in those final 2 corners, as we saw in the track.
My goodness, yeah.
4th, I have Nico Serfati. I like his enthusiasm. I like his passion. And I really, again, he had some struggles here and there, but again, you just need that little bit of momentum. And I think the GFC crew is going to have him working and rolling on the weekend. And then in the 5th spot, I have Max Christia, the PSL Burrell Art driver. It's kind of a crapshoot with this. I put 5 different chassis in the top 5.
You did. Yeah.
And so that's kind of where I went. And I'm like, Max, he's been doing fairly well throughout the year. I think he's really gotten comfortable. The PSL crew has got him kind of right there, not quite to where, Keelan Harvick has been all year, or maybe Tyler Roberts, being there to battle for victories. But I think he certainly has the opportunity to battle for a podium position. So 5 different drivers on 5 different chassis for my top 5.
Yeah, I like that. That's a cool deal. I like the different chassis, different guys. So we'll see how it all plays out. Let's bring mine up here because you mentioned experience, and I went with Tyler Roberts, 7th last year in the Mini Swift category. I think he's just dialing things in. It's been a strong year moving up here as well. For myself, I kind of like the way it plays out a little bit here in terms of some of the guys that have run up front. I don't know why I have Troy Ferguson on there. I don't think that's the one I had down for that one. I don't know. That's
a
all right.
Mistake. Yep.
That's all right. Let it roll.
We'll fix it.
I'd have to go look at my notes. So we'll count out 2. Lucas Palacio. Last year, probably could have stayed in the Micro Swift category, but because kind of racing with Harvick and was right there with Harvick and decided to move up. But he's been really good. And I think that Lucas has an opportunity to finish in the top 5. So I'll put Palacio in 3rd. I like Ashamoon being in the top 5 as well. I agree with Nate on that. I don't know that he's going to go for a win, but again, how these Mini Swift races run down, especially with what happens potentially on the final couple of corners and the last lap. One of the things about this racetrack that we saw last year, or rather 2 years ago and the year before, was the minute you started to go on the defensive, it brought everybody back in. The way the track was designed, the minute you went to the defensive, you lost so much exit speed,
right,
and we saw everybody pack back in. So I have a sneaking feeling this, especially with the 2 hairpins, if we see defense guys going defensive on the penultimate lap, coming to the white, it's going to bring guys back in. So I think it could be funny to watch, see how it all plays out. I've got Ashton Wood in 4th, and I have Gage Bailey as well, coming home in the 5th position. Gage had some pretty good speed this year and was top 3 in the SCUSA points.
Palacio, Bailey, those are drivers I looked at. Can I throw a secondary projection out here?
Yeah, why not,
prediction?
Man? Yeah, do it.
I think Palacio will put it on pole. I think he'll have top qualifying honors.
I don't think that could easily happen. So here, I just went and looked at I got my picks. Here's what I actually have. So I have Tyler Roberts for the win. I had Lucas up into 2nd. Asher Oakstein I have for 3rd. Ashton Woon 4th, and Gage Bailey 5th. Just bring my other my picks up here. So that's where we were. It's just a little mistake there on the graphic, but yeah, I think this is going to be. If you can put it in the chat there, Rob, so we can look at it. So if you can copy it over, I'll keep talking while you work on that. Let me do that right now.
But yeah, I like the Palacio. I like Bailey. There's a number of other drivers that have the opportunity to be there. You got a Ty Fisher with Race Lab that could be in the hunt as well. You got a Bronson Costas racing. He's been quick. Another guy I like, and not many people know of him, Johnny Stamps. He's a California Pro Kart Challenge champion. He's been doing really well over there on the West Coast. He could be another surprise driver that's going to be up front. You got Alessandro Truchot on Paralyn USA. He's this micro SCUSA Winter Series champion. He has the ability. Again, there's so many different drivers in this mini field that you can pick with because it's so wide open right now, I believe. Here's another
dark horse as well. I haven't got his name locked down yet, but he runs with Ryan Perry. It's Michael. I was saying McGahee or whatever. It's Michael McGaughy or whatever it may be. McGaw. That's it. Michael McGaw. I have a feeling he could be a dark horse. I think that could be running there top 10, top 5. I think he'll be fast too.
I mean, you got a lot of Paralyns, a lot of Nitro karts. Yep. A lot of OTKs in there, a lot of Kart Republics, and a few Benix, CRGs, like a lot of different chassis brands out there. The JV kart, the Jacques Villeneuve kart, TV kart as well. So a lot of different brands out there, a lot of different teams. So again, this category was capped. So we could have saw a field of 60 or so mini drivers, but it was capped. So it kind of limits the way the amount of drivers we have, but I think it's just going to be one of those categories that's going to be fun to watch. And again, like you said, the way the track's laid out, you never know in those final few corners.
I think it's gonna tighten up. David Cole's phone is blowing up, by the way. I love that.
Is that what you hear?
I can hear it buzzing.
Okay, sorry. I'll try. Yeah.
All right, folks.
It's you guys and my kid.
Yeah, we're all messaging each other. Those are our picks for the mini Swift category.
You want the best? You just gotta roll with the best. Streeter Superstands. This is Jeff Wessel from StreeterSuperstands.com. You wouldn't put subpar parts on your racing cart, so why put that cherished ride of yours on anything but karting's #1 lifts and stands, Streeter Superstands. Streeter is the original and genuine manufacturer of the second-to-none Bigfoot rolling stands, stackers, uprights, and industry-leading Superlift. We also manufacture and sell the largest and always growing roster of trailer and shop accessories like tire, engine and jug racks, cabinets, spray can trays, bead breakers, and tons more to outfit any size trailer, team, and budget. Streeter Superstands has over 30 continuous years of experience. We're kart racers just like you and know that the Streeter name represents the absolute best in stands, lifts, and accessories for karting enthusiasts worldwide. Durability, affordability, unmatched quality, and customer service, that's what sets us apart from the rest. Check us out now at StreeterSuperstands.com. Roll with the best, StreeterSuperstands.com.
Fast, fair, and fun. Ignite Karting offers you all of that at an affordable price. Ignite Karting utilizes the spec Margay Ignite K3 with a Briggs & Stratton 206 engine and a Hoosier R80 tire. Everyone in the junior, senior, and masters classes compete on the same Ignite K3 chassis, which puts all the emphasis squarely on driver development. Additionally, Ignite Karting is accessible at the local, regional, and national level. Special events for the 2023 season include the Ignite Majors, which begins with the annual trip to the Daytona International Speedway as part of the WKA Daytona Kart Week as part of both the sprint and road racing events. Those in the Midwest can enjoy the regionally based Ignite Challenge, which just finished up a record-setting season in 2022. Local club programs have also been established in other states all across the country, from Idaho to Texas, Nebraska to New York, with more tracks and clubs joining the Ignite Karting program. Be part of fast fun and great memories with Margay Racing at an Ignite track near you. All information on Ignite events and Ignite kart packages, including dealers in your area, are available at ignitekarting.com. Get off the couch and out onto the track in 2023. Ignite Karting. Fuel your passion. CRG is one of the most iconic brands in karting, and we're primed and ready for the 2022 season with new material and a never-ending focus on winning. CRG Nordam is the North American distributor for all CRG products. Based outside of Houston, Texas, CRG Nordam supports CRG dealers across the continent, reaching every corner of North America. The CRG KT5 is our new chassis for tag and shifter racing, and it's been designed specifically for the US market. The KT5 features 30mm construction with a 32mm front loop to increase front grip. CRG's new VEN 13 brake system is cutting-edge technology with a master cylinder that allows for pressure regulation within the system. Drivers can customize brake pressure to their own requirements to improve feel and to avoid brake lockup. The kart is finished with new KG 507, 508 bodywork that has refined aerodynamics and reduced weight. For cadet drivers, the 2022 CRG Black Mirror is already logging positive results to start the new season. This chassis will be making big waves in 2022. Longtime CRG drivers will be happy to know that the CRG Road Rebel, the standard in quality and performance, is still available. With four-cycle racing enjoying consistent growth in North America, CRG's FS4 chassis is the ideal choice for racers in Briggs & Stratton competition. From pure racing to karting entertainment, many tracks, both indoor and outdoor, have made the switch to the CRG Centurion rental kart line. 5 different models for both gas-powered or electric engines can fit any track's needs for a new rental kart fleet. CRG Nordam has a full inventory of rental karts available for new and existing facilities. For more information on the CRG product line, head to www.kartcrg.com, and to inquire about a North American dealer near you, please email us at info@kartcrg-nordam.com. All right, folks, welcome back to our outlap here. Our first of two outlaps that we'll have for this year's SuperNationals. One this Friday, one the following Friday, again, 8 o'clock, primetime show. We'll cap things off there as well with the five final categories. All the class previews, individual class previews coming out on the website. David's knocking them out. Nate's knocking out the graphics as well. So a lot of great stuff coming on board there. If you haven't had a chance to look at the article we posted today from Tiffany Kelly, that's a fantastic article. Excited about what she's doing for us. She's going to be running in the master's class with her husband, Justin Kelly. So that'll be a lot of fun to watch the more articles that are coming in from her. Let's move into the KA100 junior classes category, brought to you by think60.org. 65 entries as they opened up KA100 Junior. Absolutely stacked. Look at the three drivers, David, who have won here before. Jeremy Fletcher, Brent Cruz, and James Wharton. Wharton's got some good stuff happening for him. We know Cruz does, and Fletcher jumping into cars as well this year.
Yeah, we know Wharton's on his way. He's on his path towards F1. He's following that Logan Sargent route. Brent Cruz is winning in everything he sits in this year, including the midgets and sprints and Trans Am. Going to pick up. He's picking up wins. And he's going to probably pick up the Rookie of the Year honors there at the Trans Am Series.
Trackhouse sponsorship.
Yep, with the Trackhouse program, and then Jeremy Fletcher, again, a phenomenal SuperNationals 24 last year, picking up both victories in the junior category. Only the second driver ever to win twice in the same SuperNationals event, along with Connor De Felipe.
That's it. Yeah. In what categories, David?
Jika and AD Junior.
There it is. All right.
I can't remember the year, but I know it's Jika and AD.
I think it was the same year as 2008, whatever year the Mandarino won.
No, that was 5. That was 2005. So I think it was 5 or 6.
I think it was 5. I was just looking at the magazine.
I'll tell you what year. You keep talking.
I'll go look at it.
No, I got it right here.
You do have it right there, of course. You got just calm down. You got the spreadsheet for sure there. Yeah. All right. I'll go a little deeper. Yeah, you find it. I'll go a little bit deeper. SCUSA Pro Tour points. Obviously, the guys that are going to be up front here. Jesus Vasquez Jr. with the championship in KA100 Junior. Caleb Gaffera was right there. Cooper Shipman, Elio Meza, and Charlie Smith. I got the
2005.
On a KRT, I believe.
You don't believe me? You don't believe me? Yeah, it was KRT on both Jika and AD Junior. That was the only year that Jika was there. Oh, here we go.
Felipe breaks through. Shifter cart. Supercard illustrated back in the day. Lorenzo Mandarino.
Do you know what category he won the year after?
Oh, probably S3.
S3? Yep.
S3. Yeah.
Very good.
Which was the stock moto categories back then, folks.
Exactly.
S3 and S4 were stock moto light, or stock Honda light and stock Honda heavy. All right, so let's jump into this. We talked about those guys kind of being up front there. Charlie Smith was 5th, Meza in 4th. Again, David, this is interesting, right? No former SuperNationals winners in the first category. Only one former SuperNationals winner here in KA100 Junior.
Yeah, not in this category. We have last year's Mini Swift champ or winner, Enzo Vidmontian. He's actually pulling the double duty with racing both KA100 Junior and X30 Junior as well. So good to see. He's trying to pull off the Fletcher this year.
Yeah,
as
Sports.
And we'll get into it more. There's actually 24 drivers doing double duty. So there's 24 chances for a driver to win both categories.
I love it. 10 different countries represented in the field, 18 drivers who competed in KA100 last year. So there is some experience as well. 19 drivers, David, coming in from outside the U.S. Again, so awesome to be able to welcome back all the international drivers, whether it's from New Zealand, Australia, South America, Canada, again, overseas in Europe. Just great to have everybody back at this event that really, once the Europeans started coming over, that's what exponentially grew the SuperNationals from just being a domestic race into something that was really, truly an international festival.
Yeah, I think it was 2007, and we'll talk, 2007. That'll be our countdown tomorrow, actually. Looking over that event, that's when the kind of the factory drivers started coming over. It was actually the 1 year I missed. So this is actually 17. So I'm wrong on that. I forgot. I missed that 1 year. So this is number 17 for me, not 18.
So why'd you miss that one?
Well, the birth of my child,
birth of
my
your
firstborn,
child.
yeah. So who will be turning 15 on Monday.
Yeah, crazy, right? That's
Yep.
ridiculous, by the way. 34 first-time SuperNationals competitors. That's closed in on half the field, over half the field, actually.
Essentially, I mean, it's pretty wild because a lot. And again, we only said 18 drivers that were in KA 100 Junior last year. So, those who did race last year were probably in Mini for the majority part of that, or at least half of the field. So then you got the other half who've never been to the SuperNationals, whether it be the international drivers, because a lot of the Australians, they haven't been able to come over for the last 2 years. So that's part of it. So 2019 was the last time that they were able to come here.
I love the fact that Cole's phone is blowing up. He's already getting people calling him out.
It's over here. I'll put it over here. There you
Listen, doesn't bother me. All right, Nate.
I don't know why it's so bad this time right now. Normally,
Nate's gone off the script. He's pulling in some. He's getting.
Yeah, we're gonna teach you that.
Leave it on red. I like the action.
There we go.
All right, Nate. What do you got for KA 100 Junior? Your predictions?
So Cooper Shipman for me, I will say will take the win come Sunday, counting on a bit of chaos as is always present in KA Junior. Have such a strong field this year that it's hard to pick who. I mean, Caleb Gaffara is in the form of his life right now. Same with Meza. Riviera, Warren, who's won the CKNA Grand Nationals, who did fairly well at GoPro Motorplex for the Miami Grand Nationals. He's been on a really strong 2022 campaign. But like it says here, I'll take Riviera for second, Meza third, Gaffara fourth, and Eli Warren is my top 5 for KA Junior.
Look at that dark horse pick, Cole. Eli Warren.
I mean, yeah. Again, like he said, it's going to be chaotic. We saw it last year. Elio Meza was involved, led at the white flag, was involved in a wreck, got into the barrier, coming out one of the corners, and essentially ended his race there. So there's going to be chaos in this class, especially with the way it's laid out in the finish there. Because again, you can't draft your way to a possible victory. You got to be able to make a move either in turn 8, turn 9, or turn 10 before you get to the stripe. So I like it. Again, Riviera, he's kind of been there. So it's just a good, solid top 5.
It's just Rivera. There's no I in there. It's not Riviera.
Sorry, yes. Rivera. Sorry.
Yeah. Let's get that right. Listen, what Nate said, I think is key. I just think that, every time we've done this, David, we've said we picked these top 5. None of these guys could be even in the top 5. It could be 5 different people because number one, it's so competitive, like Nate said, and number two, it's the chaos. It's like you never know what could happen in a tight racetrack like this.
You picked the 5th place driver last year, and that was it.
That's all I got last year.
You had 2 drivers in the top 5. I had 0.
You had 0 last year.
I had 0 last, so it can happen.
Yeah.
You had Fletcher and Baker. So I
didn't have Fletcher to win, did I? Yeah.
You didn't have Fletcher to win.
No.
But you had him in the top 5, and then you had Baker in 5th spot. So you got a bonus point for that as well too. Okay. So
there you go.
Yeah, this was the only category I scored 0 in. So let's go. Let's look at my pick.
Let's have a look at it. Let's have a look.
So let's hope that we go opposite and we get all 5 of these drivers in, because I'm sure they're going to be banking on the odds that I put out there. So first place, I got Meza. I mean, He was 3/4 of a lap away from a victory, just held it on the outside, and he didn't have to, and went into the barriers. And again, it was racing. It was part of it. It happens. But the way he's been driving this year, he's got the USPKS championship. He actually finished 4th in the SCUSA Pro Tour Championship based on 4 races. Yeah, so think about that.
Yeah.
So he was on the podium for 4 races, missed the Spring Nationals because he was having his appendix taken out, and still finished 4th in the championship. It's amazing. So this kid is kind of the measuring stick right now, I think, in KA 100 Junior. So I put him at the top, and I put his teammate second, because Cooper Shipman and him, why not work together? I think they'll kind of decide it in the final few corners, but they'll be able to kind of break away, something we don't rarely see in KA, but maybe they're going to work together and kind of get away. I have Caleb Gaffara in 3rd. Again, he can win any race that he's in, but it's SuperNationals and anything can happen. So maybe he's got to bounce back from something that happened in a heat race. So he's got to fight his way forward in the main event. But I have him finishing in third, and he's going to lock up with Max Taylor, his Rollison Performance Group teammate. So they're going to finish third and fourth. And then I have last year's pole setter, top qualifier, Jesus Vasquez Jr., the Pro Tour champion, in the fifth spot. He's going to obviously do better this year than he did last year, recording a DNF. It was a kind of a great start and a bad ending for him at SuperNationals last year. I think he's got that full year under his belt now. He's got the Pro Tour championship. I think confidence is high, but just not quite where Meza is going to be. So I have Vasquez finishing in the fifth spot.
It's a pretty solid, a lot of good intel there, David. I think there's a lot of wise thoughts in putting that together. Let's have a again. I don't. You and I've worked together for so long; it's just absolutely ridiculous. Bring mine up.
Okay.
So
two different.
Yeah. But his namesake, now a 4-time Indianapolis 500 winner, Elio Castro Neves. I remember when I first met Elio and his family down at, I want to say it was a Texas Pro Kart Challenge race. I think we were at in Denton, Texas. And he had told me that indeed he was named after Elio Castro Neves. So listen, I'm with you. I think he had such a good season this year. I think there's so much pace there. I like that. You see the one guy I don't have in there only because I wasn't sure who to throw in, because I brought Max Garcia in. Mm-hmm. And it was Cooper Shipman, and you made a really good point about having them potentially working together up front, because we saw that happen this year before, and I probably could have used that. And
I did.
You did. Well, I was throwing some stuff in. It's hard for me not to put Garcia and Gaffera in a top 5 anytime at the SuperNats, because those two drivers have been locked together through their entire career, right? Through all the way through micro, mini, now into junior. They're always seeming to be in the lead battle. And I've got Caleb in third. And the reason why I didn't put him in as a potential winner here is because I just think he's won so many races this year. He's won like 25 or 26 races on the year. I really think he's got a target on his back. And I think the tighter competition in KA 100 Junior could see guys potentially working together to make sure Caleb's not out front.
Well, let me back that up, Rob, because he doesn't have a victory on the SCUSA Pro Tour in KA 100 Junior,
despite finishing second in the points.
Yeah.
So there you go. So that kind of plays to what I'm saying. So I got Elio Mesa with the win. I think it's a good opportunity there. Max Garcia, I got up into second. I think Max had a pretty strong season this year, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's able to make it happen. Gaffera P3, Vasquez Jr. again. That kind of street circus prowess he showed last year. Qualified on the pole, as you said, but wasn't able to take that home. I think he'll be in the hunt the entire time. I have no doubt about that. And I like the development of Ernesto Rivera throughout the entire year. I think we watched him. I probably could throw Max Taylor in there as well. Those RPG guys are awesome. Performance Group crew is on their game, have been throughout the entire season. So that's my throw in there. You and I both with Mesa for the win, though, and we'll see if Nate rolls it out there with Cooper Shipman. So
this is what I love. This is what I love right here.
What's that? There it is.
You got the dads already coming in. I love it.
Eli is going to make Rob and David eat their pick. Kid is on fire. Keith Ward, I agree. Former EKN driver of the month.
There's a lot of different names that we could pick through this. Again, you got, you already mentioned that the RPG guys. You got another guy, Augustus Toliolo, another RPG driver who hasn't raced here in a while. But he's a former front runner in the micro division, so he could be another driver to watch. You got Oliver Weldon. I don't think any of us picked Oliver.
We didn't
in the top 5.
Enzo Vidmontian, Stephen Miller.
There you go.
Right? Valentino Garbarino. There's some good guys.
Oscar Iliff. Again, a lot of different drivers that could be in. Cameron Brinkman as well too.
Yeah, so, 2 more. Christian Cameron and Steven Isert. We didn't mention Cameron was 4th last year. So. Again, there's an opportunity, right? Again, like we said, they could, as happened for David last year, an entirely different top 5.
Well, hopefully, none of us have that. I hope we have at least two or three drivers in there at least.
There it is. That is our picks, folks. All 3 of us here from ekartingnews.com, Rob, David, and Nate. That is your picks for KA 100 Junior. Top-level production with a focus on a single form of motorsport, karting. This is MG Tires. MG Tires USA underneath the Vantage Karting Group banner, is the official distributor of the MG Tires brand for the United States. MG Tires are the official spec tire in the U.S. Pro Kart Series, Route 66 Sprint Series, Sunshine State Karting Challenge, and countless clubs across the country. No matter your compound preference, MG Tires USA has you covered. Whether it's the medium SH Red or the soft SM Yellow that you find at many karting events in the US, or the super soft green SS and the intermediate white IZ optional compounds, MG Tires USA has your winning set of rubber in stock. Indoor and outdoor rental facilities can now trust MG Tires with their solution to long-lasting and the best performance with 3 different compounds available through the RL line. For more info about MG Tires USA and its extensive list of dealers near you, check out their website at mgtiresusa.com. MG Tires, for the drivers. For over 20 years, Greg Bell has been building race-winning power for kart racers. One need only look at his team, Leading Edge Motorsports. He's always built engines for his team, and the results have been wins at the biggest races in America, the SKUSA SuperNationals and the Rock Vegas events. The name on this program? Mega Power. This year alone, Bell and Danny Formel teamed up to sweep the Rock Shifter class on the Florida Winter Tour, all on a Mega Power engine. If you want to win shifter kart races, it's time to put Mega Power on your kart. Mega Power specializes in gearbox engines, such as the TMKZ, Rock Shifter, and IME Shifter, but with almost 3 decades of engine building experience, Bell develops winning motors for X30 and Mini Swift and everything in between. The combination of Greg Bell's engine building skills and his chassis tuning knowledge is a potent mixture. Greg's helped catapult many drivers to wins over the years, including Mercedes F1 star George Russell, who won the SuperNats 14 in 2011 with Leading Edge Motorsports. Increase your odds of winning at this year's Rock Vegas or SuperNational events or throughout 2023 by calling Greg Bell today at 209-747-2613 to put Mega Power in your corner. Powered by technology, DID racing chains have a worldwide reputation for superior quality and reliability. Meticulously engineered and manufactured in Japan, DID Genuine Parts are the world's #1 original parts supplier for Japanese and European motorcycle manufacturers. A rich racing tradition where results speak for themselves, DID prides itself on engineering the most technologically advanced chains on the market to help you excel on and off the track. DID's SDH pin treatment creates an extremely hard chromium carbide layer on the pin surface that houses a soft inner core to absorb extreme shock loads. DID's 219 HTZ racing chain boasts this SDH pin technology, which leads to longer chain life as well as excellent energy transmission to the wheels. Available in the gorgeous gold, the 219 HTZ is the ultimate racing kart chain. Pick up a DID chain at your local dealer today, because when winning is the only thing that matters, go with DID. Okay, let's dive back in this again. Welcome back to our OutLap preview podcast, the first of 2 that we'll have for the 25th running of the Superkarts USA SuperNationals. Hard to believe when you go back and you think about the first race at Race Kart City, which then eventually became Xplex and Las Vegas Karting Center. Everything that Don Janowski, Jim Murley, the guys that put it together from the beginning, and then Joe Janowski taking over, then the Kutcher family taking over and doing what they've done over the last number of years. It's amazing for this event to get to the 25 mark. We'll jump in now to X30 Junior. All right, Dave.
Hold on, I'll be right.
Where's Cole? Oh, he's got to be going to get something right now. I'm not sure where Cole's gone.
Oh,
Cole's that's never happened before, Nate. He's bailing out on us. I'll throw in some stuff here as we roll into X30 Junior. Very not surprising that we're going to see a lot of the same names. David mentioned how many guys are doing double duty. 24 in total doing double duty. Trying to see if they can't do what Jeremy Fletcher did. Fletcher, the winner, of course, last year, as we said. James Wharton, who's now part of the Ferrari Academy. Jeremy Fairburn. I picked that winner, by the way, Jeremy Fairman back in 2008. Jack Crawford, of course, in F2, working his way to try to get to F1. And Tyler Gonzalez, who's now become a top driver in the sports car ranks. Where the hell did you go?
I had to get the door. Sorry.
You had to get the door?
Yes, they didn't have a key. Sorry.
Oh, your family. You're locked
Yes.
out. You don't have a spare key? You don't have a spare key? That one.
We had a car breakdown. We have a broken car in the garage. We don't
All right.
open it. We got a lot going on this week. So dance class tonight. Yeah.
You got a text. Let us in.
Yeah.
We're locked out. All right. Well, good to have you. Dave, I just went through the former winners. I talked about the fact we had 24 drivers who are doing double duty. So you're going to hear potentially a lot of the same names. You go back before it was called, before the X30 Junior, when it was actually, there was Tag Junior. We were on the Leopards back then for a while too. Arthur Laced, Logan Sargent. We talked about him already. Uric Carvalho, Lance Stroll. This is where you go to some of the Formula One drivers, David. We had a run there where we had two future Formula One drivers win in the junior category. Lance Stroll in 2012 and George Russell, who's now a Mercedes F1 driver, in 2011.
Yeah, it was certainly a crazy time. And as you said, Logan Sargent a couple years after that. So, again, we were watching the grooming of future Formula One stars. It was certainly amazing to watch that all at the Rio there. And then, it was, again, 2008, the first year that we brought in Tag Junior. It took a couple years before, because again, it was still kind of adult centralized when Superkarts USA was taken over by Tom Kutcher. So 2006, 2007 was kind of focused just on solely adults. And then they brought in the Tag Junior category in 2008 when it really, the tag program was exploding by that time.
Yeah, indeed. So let's look at the drivers we think are going to be up front. First thing you have to do is look at the Superkarts USA Pro Tour, and that was Caleb Gaffera. David mentioned that Caleb did not get a win in KA 100 Junior, but he was victorious in the X30 Junior category, which is again brought to you by AM Engines this particular year. The AM Engines, the sponsor of the class for the SuperNats. I want to bring that in. Aiden Ingrata second, Max Taylor, Max Garcia, and Cameron Brinkman. David, the top 5 drivers in X30 Junior on the Pro Tour.
Yeah, again, Caleb, he only got one victory on the Pro Tour, but a lot of podiums, and was able to win it out in terms of championship at the finale, because it was really a 3-driver fight between him, Aiden Ingrata, and Max Garcia. Max Taylor was able to slide in with a solid last weekend into that 3rd position in the championship, but Max Garcia was there all year long, and again, it was really a 3-driver fight all year long in the X30 Junior category. And
to Caleb's credit, he didn't have to win at the Summer Nationals in Newcastle, because the guy that was really the dominant factor, which was Sebastian Weldon, wasn't in the championship fight, right? So, as long as you can go win this, I'm not going to wreck you to try to win this race. It's the guys he had to finish in front of. So, as we said, Caleb Gaffera has been strong, 26 race wins on the season. 6 different countries in X30 Junior, 23 drivers from outside the U.S., 23 first-time drivers as well, David. That's literally almost half the field again. Never been to the Supernats before.
Yeah, it's crazy to see that. But again, you have 23 drivers from outside the U.S. So a lot of those drivers, again, from outside the United States, haven't had any SuperNationals experience. So that's what we're going to see in that. And again, I like to put in 24 drivers doing double duty. That's going to be key. They're going to get track time in the morning, and they're going to get track time in the afternoon. So we've seen it a number of years over and over again. Track time is very key, especially at the SuperNationals when it goes from a green racetrack to a rubber down racetrack. So it adds a little advantage, but not necessarily. Again, anybody can still win in the act, because X30 is different from what KA Junior is.
That's it. So obviously for Nate, he hasn't been able to be trackside for the Pro Tour. He was there for a lot of the USPKS races. Nate, what are your picks? X30 Junior. Let's see what you did this time.
I mean, you kind of have to go for Caleb Gaffera with the form he's been in 2022, especially after seeing some of his performances at USPKS. Coming from the back of the field to win by a couple seconds was astonishing to watch. Sebastian Weldon, I'll take him for second. Enzo Montien in third. Ernesto Rivera and Max Garcia are my top 5. Again, just like KA Junior, counting on a bit of chaos. I think just from what I saw at USPKS and what I've seen from other races, X30 Junior is a bit more tame, we'll call it, than I've seen from KA. So not a ton of wild cards in this one. All 5 of these have been on pace throughout the entirety of the year and shown moments of brilliance. So should be interesting to see if I get at least one of these right for 2022.
Hey, David, you think there's a wild card in there that he picked out of those?
Not necessarily wild cards. I mean, you said it. Sebastian Weldon won both the Summer Nationals at Newcastle. Vidmontien's coming in as, again, the only winner in the field, winning Mini Swift last year. So again, he's picked up the pace, moved over
the young
to
gun. He's the one I was looking at as the kind of the young gun, right?
He is the young gun, not necessarily a wild card. He's the young gun again coming in, but he's got momentum. Ernesto fourth, he's been right there. And again, Max Garcia, I'll talk a little bit more about him in my predictions.
Oh, you will you?
Yeah. Let's go. Again, you got to go. Again, here's some more tidbits. So Caleb Gaffera has been at the SuperNationals since 2016. He's the most experienced driver at the SuperNationals in this field. So this is his 6th start there. So you got to take the experience, especially in the younger categories, and the way he's performed this year. As you said, over 20 victories on the season. You got to put him at the top spot. He's got to get this on his resume, certainly, before he starts moving up into the senior category. Max Garcia, here's a great stat. He's been on the podium for 3 straight years. Podium, 3rd place in micro, 5th place in mini, and then 2nd last year. So he's going to finish on the podium, no doubt about it. If there's a guarantee, Max Garcia is on the podium in this category. There's no doubt about it.
David's calling it. Calling the shot. Yep.
So I got Max Garcia there sitting in the 2nd spot. Cameron Brinkman's kind of my wild card. He's been quick. He's got that USPKS victory. So I kind of was like, you know what? Let's continue that momentum. Let's throw him in there. Let's put him in there at 3rd spot because, again, a lot of things are going to happen throughout this race. I really think Caleb's kind of going to get away, and it'll really be a battle for 2nd, I think. But I think Brinkman's going to be in there. Weldon's kind of my question mark. He's quick at Newcastle. He's quick at some other places. But this is only his 2nd start at the SuperNationals. So he did finish 7th last year, so he's got that going for him. And I think he's gained some more confidence over the year. So I think that'll help him keep it and put it on the podium for the first time. I don't think his dad was ever on the podium. I got to double check that. I forgot to do that before we got on the show, but I'm
pretty sure he is because I think I've got some video of me interviewing Dan. I'll have to I'll pull that video. I
think, if it was like 1 year that he did do it. So it might have been I'm not sure if it was the Aero year or the Top Kart year. We'll have to double check that.
We'll go back and look.
And then the 5th spot, Enzo Vidmontien. I think, again, another late bloomer. Him and Brinkman have kind of put it on in the 2nd half of the season. So I put Vidmontien in there. He's hungry. He wants it. He's got that victory last year. I think he really wants to be on the podium this year. So again, a number of different drivers I could have put in there, but these are my top 5.
I like it. All right. So interesting. And let's just bring mine up. Let's put some pressure on the kid out of North Carolina. Carrying 3 predictions for a race win, Caleb Gaffera. I'm going to go with Caleb on this one as well. I think that David mentioned it. It's just the amount of experience. What did we just say? 23 drivers have never been to the Supernats, and that's just under half the entire field. Have never been to a race that has this much pressure. And, you don't think about it on Wednesday and Thursday. And I'm sure when I'm driving, I'm not going to be really thinking about it during practice day or qualifying. But, man, Super Sunday, I've been doing it for 24 years. And I'm only the announcer. And I get, my hair on my arm stands up. And as we're getting ready to go through the celebration, the opening ceremonies and that first check, that first green flag, man, the drivers are going to feel the pressure when they're sitting on the grid firing up. I guarantee you that. And Caleb's done it before. So I think if there's an opportunity for him to cap the season off with an exclamation point, this will be one of them. And it's interesting. They're there right now. Here we are, Friday talking about it. They're there for the Rock Vegas event. So while it's a different racetrack, they're still running on that same parking lot pavement at the Rio, which is bumpy, and they're going to be able to get a feel for whatever grip levels there may be. So I think being there is going to help some guys like a Caleb Gaffera, like a Sebastian Weldon, who I picked P2. I feel the momentum's there. David mentioned that he's very strong at Newcastle. I know how good he is down in Florida. We know that as well. But I have a feeling that this is this is a race that he's going to step up at. So I got Weldon second. I didn't pick Cooper Shipman in KA 100 Junior, so I'm bringing him in here. I think that this will be a place that he'll be able to work his way forward. I'm with you on Max Garcia 100% that he's going to be a guy who's going to be on the podium wherever it's going to be. I put him P4. That's just what I decided to slot in at. And then I went with Max Taylor. I was right there with you guys. I was thinking Enzo Vidmontien. I was looking at Max Taylor. The other one I was really kind of giving a couple of guys I was really giving thoughts to were Cameron Brinkman and Stephen Miller. Those were kind of two guys that I thought that may be able to get it done there. So I went with Max Taylor. Let's see what he does. I know he's did some car testing already. He's going to, I believe, run in the USF Juniors program next year as part of the USF Pro Championships program, the Latter-day Indy car. So he's going to go car racing next year. So this will be his swan song. Maybe he throws it out there and gets himself on the podium at the SuperNationals. Oh, Dave, you're muted.
I was typing.
Yeah.
I guess none of us are picking a double winner.
No, that's very true. That's
but again, it's not like it happens all the time.
No,
but with 24 drivers, it's a better opportunity. Certainly.
Yeah, but Nate brings it up every time at the very start. The chaos, right? That long run into turn one at the start. Number one, what's the start going to be like? We haven't had a hairpin start for a long time because everybody complained about it. We don't want to. We want to have open. You got to be opened up. You got to be opened up.
Well, it was because the way they had it laid out at the convention center was not the correct way.
No, it was
here. It's not necessarily a hairpin because it's again and it's wider, so everybody's going to be diving for the inside.
We think it's going to be wider.
Well, that's true, but you can run it around the outside, like Eminem,
Yep.
I mean, to add a point to it,
go Nate.
It's kind of the inverse geometry of turn one at Coda, where it does open up to the inside, and whatever series goes there, we always have a lot of good passing opportunities in a turn one. So that should be a really
and you could run the outside
place for racing. Yep.
Great point. Great. And it'll be the convergence coming back that could get ugly. And then again, like we said, I think the last two laps, based on the way the final couple of corners are, I think it's going to stack people back up. I think you're going to have potential breakaways, 2-3 driver breakaways. Somebody's going to come into the white flag. Someone's going to block inside, outside. Here comes third. Here comes fourth. And then they're going to be running down into turn number one, 4 wide.
Yep.
That's my thought.
I really, again, those, it's going to be exciting because everybody's going to be able to see it because we're all going to be sitting right there.
So, for the first time, we have 3 predictions for one driver. Our prediction for the winner in X30 Junior, Caleb Gaffera. That's it for X30 Junior. In karting, it's important to be supported by the right people. With over 40 years of experience in the sport, Trinity Karting Group has everything you need to make your program successful. We do it all, and we do it right. Trackside support and arrive and drive programs at many of karting's biggest East Coast events, full product sales and service, and professional coaching from our experienced staff. Trinity Karting Group is a full-service operation based at the Motorsports Country Club of Cincinnati, which gives us access to our custom-designed driver training facility. This allows us to offer private one-on-one coaching to take you to the next level. From arrive and drive and coaching programs to the parts you need, let Trinity Karting Group provide you with customer service and a racing experience second to none. Trinity Karting Group is an official Kart Republic race team, providing full trackside support at all the major USA karting events, including the SCUSA Pro Tour, United States Pro Kart Series, SCUSA SuperNationals 25, and other events throughout the 2022 season. TKG has in stock Kart Republic, IAME, MG and Avinco tires, and more products for those in Ohio and the Midwest region. Trinity Karting Group has a long history of the sport, a winning pedigree, and we're dedicated to driver development. We take pride in our professional approach and our positive attitude. Let us build a custom race program for you. Give us a call at 513-421-4463 or check us out online at trinitykartinggroup.com. It all started in 1994 when former successful kart driver Albino Parolin decided to move his passion for karting from the track to his small workshop. That's when Parolin was born. Fast forward 20 years, and Parolyn's passion for the sport led to the company rejoining international competitions as a factory team in WSK and CIK FIA races, with the aim of enhancing the research and development process, immediately achieving notable results around Europe, North America, and Asia, becoming the CIK FIA Asia Pacific KZ champion in the same year. Parolyn USA is North America's source for Parolyn products, and we run a factory team at all of the major Superkarts USA and Rock Cup USA events. The Parolyn chassis lineup for 2021 includes the Invader Shifter, the Le Mans Tag single-speed chassis for junior and senior classes, and the 28mm mini kart for the cadet classes. Parolyn has been winning races all over the world, and it's on top of the podium in the USA as well, with drivers like Kai Sorensen, Mateus Orjuela, and Alessandro De Tullio. Get on the chassis that's winning. Drive a Parolyn. For more information, head to ParolynUSA.com. The Briggs & Stratton 206 engine is where out-of-the-box ease and outstanding consistency meet to create legendary races. Briggs & Stratton's history in motorsports dates back to when the first engines came off the assembly line in the early 1900s. Their focus on the grassroots level continues to help build generations of racers. Since 2008, the Briggs & Stratton 206 has gained a following that has the engine powering the largest fields in North American karting today. From the club level and track programs to traveling regional series and national events, Briggs & Stratton competition provides the most exciting racing in the sport. Engineered and hand-built exclusively for racing, every Briggs & Stratton 206 engine is power tested and serialized before it goes in the box. Karters can take that engine straight from the box to their kart and be on the podium at the end of race day. Be sure to follow Briggs & Stratton Racing on Facebook and through @RaceBriggs on Instagram. To learn more about the 206 engine or to find the North American dealer near you, head to BriggsRacing.com. Briggs & Stratton Racing, what powers you? Welcome back to a new edition of the OutLap, our first of two for the Superkarts USA SuperNationals 25 in Las Vegas at the Rio All Suite Hotel and Casino. Rob Howden, David Cole, and Nate Dean here with you as we wrap things up. We talked about a bunch of kids. Let's go in the other direction. Let's go Formula Geezer. Let's go. I think this is one of the most exciting categories. I'll say mine as KA100 Masters exciting only because at one point there was 3 entries. And it maybe wasn't going to be in the race, and now it's 44 or whatever we have for KA100 Masters, which I think is amazing. It's going to be a lot of fun to have those guys out. But Master Shifter, who had what did we say, David? Where's my notes? Did you say 19 last year?
Yeah, 19.
19 last year, over double the entries, 40 drivers in Master Shifter. That is old school Superkarts USA SuperNats because G1 came in there wasn't a Master Shifter in the first couple of years. Right. And then G1 got brought in at that point, and it was awesome. So
hold on real quick. We're going to have over 100 shifter carts there.
I know this feels
It's been a while.
Dude, it feels so good.
I mean, with 80, I think at least 70 or something. It's 70 to 80 range for pro shifter. Yeah. And then we add in 40 Masters drivers. We haven't been over 100 in a while.
I'm so excited to see that, man. I'm so excited to see that. So again, we talked about that back in the day. Again, there was the G1 category, which stands for Gold 1, just for those of you who don't know. Then of course S4. S4 was at one point Stock Moto Heavy. It became then Stock Moto Masters. There was a G2 category. We had G1 and we had G1 and G2, right? We had Gold 1, and then with the Supermasters class was G2, was it not? Or was that the second?
We had G2. It was when the 175 came in. When the 175 came in, they had the Supermaster. It was essentially the Supermaster for 175. They named it G2. Right. Yeah, but we did have the S4 Supermaster at one point, and so we've had a number of different names for the Masters categories. But really, it's been there since 2000. We've had Masters Shifter Racing at the SuperNationals since 2000. So it's been 22 years.
Let's look at the last 5 winners as well. Joey Wimsett last year, a guy that won S1 Pro a number of years ago before. Matt Hamilton, an absolute badass. We've seen win at the streets of Lancaster as well. The New Zealander coming over to win back in 2019. Rob Logan, of course, that huge win for him in 2018. Ryan Kinnear has been a top Masters driver for many, many years. And then John Cavacuti as well from GP Karts. Winning in 2016. You go back. The cool thing is you go back and look at some of the guys that have been on the podium before, right? And one of them being, of course, Tom Kutcher. This is one of the things that he owns the thing now. Back in 2000, in the early days, out of the rock pile.
He was there at 2000. Yeah,
he was there. Yeah, he was 100% there. Running again for in that G1 category with extreme karting. So, of course, Tom's had a long history at the SuperNats. Some people don't know that he was there in the early days. The initial G1, he came out and he was part of that action there that year. So, David, let's have a look at the Pro Tour points, because this is the really interesting thing, I think, right now is the fact that 40 drivers of Master Shifter, but we may have had a handful at any of the races on the Pro Tour. I'm crossing our fingers this brings kind of a resurgence for the SCUSA Pro Tour, whatever it may be in Master Shifter racing, but didn't have a ton of guys, but we had guys that were passionate about the sport running Master Shifter on the Pro Tour.
Yeah, that's exactly it. We only had 2 drivers essentially race at all 3 events, and that was Robert Feige in the championship driver, and then Ken Schilling finishing in second. So they accumulated the most points over the 3 events. Michael Gouache finishing in third. Vincent Cassard, I don't believe he's on the entry list. No, he's not. Finishing fourth. And then Justin Kelly, a winner at the Summer Nationals, set to make his Superkarts USA SuperNationals debut.
Yeah, the Pro Tour debut was pretty impressive, right? Who the hell is this guy out of Nebraska?
we knew, at least we knew who he was.
Smoked everybody in the opening day, man. That was awesome to watch. I'll give this shout out to Hardin Motorsports Group, because they've been supporting this shifter kart category on the SCUSA Pro Tour. Stock Honda into the 175. They were building motors. They were supporting that program. And, of course, first and second this year with Robert and Ken in the championship. But the whole Hardin Motorsport Group, these guys are hardcore racers and have supported SCUSA and this particular program. So I hope to see, of course, them continue to grow. That company is a fantastic family company. So just a shout out to them for being the guys that were behind this Master Shifter class on the Pro Tour this year. 2 former winners, SuperNationals winners in the 3. Field. David, your notes? 3?
I missed one because we talked about it before the show. I'll say that one first.
Oh.
Brian Keck. Brian Keck. I forgot to put that in our notes. You told me about that, and I completely forgot. And I saw it as I was looking back at some of the old stats. He was actually a winner in 2004. 2004. I don't know if you don't have it there. It's 2004 in S2. You have it there, but not in front of you right there.
No, not right
so 2004 in the S2 category, that was a semi-pro category that year, and he was on a CRG. So a little tidbit there as well, too. But the first one of the earliest winners that is in the field in the same category, S2 category, AJ Nowit, making his SuperNationals return, winning back in 1999. So back at the Xplex, the 3rd SuperNationals.
And who'd he beat?
I wasn't even there. I don't know.
Josh Schreiber.
Josh Schreiber. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on. What chassis was Nowit on? You know it.
Do you want the name or do you want the joke?
Do both.
It was a DFM chassis. And the guys would say, if it's not fast, chrome it. But you can't say much. There's a lot of guys. Hey, listen. Those first years, that was a badass chassis because he won. Yeah. Ryan Bailey won in the 80cc senior. The DFM, which was a chrome chassis from Italy, was badass fast. There's no doubt about that. It was a quick kart. There was a lot of guys. A lot of guys ran that. I think AJ Allmendinger ran one at one point, 1 or 2 races, maybe.
Possibly.
Yeah. A lot of guys ran that go.
But the 3rd different winner, Chris Jennings, winning in 2008. That was the S4 category when it was heavy because he wasn't quite Masters yet. But he was able to win that year.
Great to see him back, by the way. I know that I talked to Chris. He had some sore ribs, but the Texan coming back on a magic cart. I love to see Chris back. That's awesome.
So those are our 3. Those are our 3 former winners in the field. We got 11 different countries represented in the field with 11 drivers who are from the outside of the United States. 23 first-time SuperNationals competitors. So They might have been there before 2004. I don't have the records of that, and I'm going based on that. You know, some of these guys have been around for a long time. I did pick up the AJ Nowd one. Unfortunately, I missed the Brian Keck. So if you've been at the event and I don't know it, I'm not sure. So that's an interesting point. But we'll talk about him later. But I'll keep that note later. But yeah, so those are kind of the notes that I had going in. I'll save the 1998 one for later.
All right, Nate, we've given you a chance to look at some of the kids. Obviously, you're following the racing this year. We did all of the junior classes. Now we're into this master shifter class. Let's see how you have a look, not knowing some of these guys. Nate, give us your picks for master shifter.
Yeah. So like you said, with the races I've gone to and some of the stuff I've been following, it's been a lot of the senior and junior categories. Cadets, master, anything I really haven't done a whole lot with. So with the help from the good folks at randomlists.com, put Jordan Musser to take the win.
That's a pretty random pick. I mean, come on.
The equivalent of the quick pick lottery ticket.
I put in the 5 or 6 that I thought would be up there, and this is what we have to work with. I have John Crow coming in second, David Foray in third, Sketchy Barnes fourth, Brian Keck, like we were talking about, in fifth. This might be a good list. This might not be a good list. I really don't know, and we won't know until Super Sunday.
5 good guys.
Yeah. I think it's a usable list. I mean, again, and we'll see in mine, but John Crow, where did he finish last year? He finished third last year. So there easily could be a podium run by him. We know he keeps in the cart all the time. David Foray, this is a stat I was caping. He won his first FIA World Championship back in 1998. So that's how long David Foray has been racing. He's actually double dipping. He's doing master shifter and pro shifter. So he's going to have a lot of track time.
Wow. Yeah. But
the 4-time world champion is capable of doing that. So this is a good pick. You got Sketchy Barnes, who was just on the podium in 5th last year. So it's a good pick. And then Brian Keck, this is actually his first time in master shifter. So it's a good pick. I think this is a good top 5. I mean, I think everybody would be happy. Anybody would be happy to use this.
Let's give Nate a little plug there from Gary Osterholt, my boy Gary. Respectable list from Nate. No doubt about that. No, I think it's a good call. I mean,
Gary's a master driver. He understands.
Yeah,
he gets it. So
that's it. All right, David Cole. What do you think? What's your thoughts? Nate's going with Musser. Oh,
yeah. I mean,
wow.
I almost didn't want to pick him because we've picked him before, and this is the one race he hasn't won. He's won Rotax Grand Nationals multiple times. He's won 5 Pro Tour championships. He's pretty. He was on that TV reality show for I can't remember the name of it, but it was like The Voice for racing, and without the singing.
Yep.
He's done.
Listen. You throw the stuff around. We use the word legend when it comes to Jordan Musser. I know he's not really super comfortable with it, but as a Masters driver, of course, he was older in his he wasn't a young teen when he won 3 straight Rotax Grand Nationals. Right. This guy's been one of the dominant master shifter drivers for how long? Let's be real. This guy's one of the best we've ever seen him, in Masters.
Can we be real?
Let's be real.
He's one of the reasons why the shifter numbers went down, because nobody wanted to. I'm serious. Nobody wanted to put the work in like he does.
Yeah.
He puts in 100 laps a day, once a week, to make sure he's ready to go for race time. And that's just something a lot of Masters drivers won't do. Hell, even some of the senior drivers won't do to match Ryan Norberg's pace.
Yeah,
and
agreed.
You got to put the work in. You got to practice to win. Little segue to our.
Ooh, I like that. I like that
shirt coming up. Nice. Stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I almost didn't want to pick him just so that way he could win, but I gotta go with it because I think right now he's on top of his game. He competed at the KZ Master World Championship in Le Mans, France. So I think he has the ability to do that, but it's going to also be a battle with a guy he got connected with there in Le Mans, David Foray. I think, again, a 4-time world champion. he's going to be up front. I mean, we've seen him up front. He finished, where did he finish? 7th in KZ last year. So in the senior category, he finished 7th.
Mm-hmm.
And now Musser has the ability to do the same thing, I think. We saw it at the Summer Nationals, and we did come out and run the Summer Nationals. So I think these two drivers are going to fight along with Brian Keck. He's got the young gun scenario. He's almost like the Joey Wimsett of SuperNationals 25. He's coming in for his first time in the Masters category. He's quick and senior, just not quite quick enough to be there to battle for a podium, but be top 10, top 5. So I think it's going to be a 3-driver fight for the victory here. Hope, and I have Musser picking as the top spot.
I'll say that. Yeah, go
ahead.
for it. No, keep going.
Skitchy Barnes in 4th. Again, finished 5th last year. I think he's going to move up 4 spot. Moving over to Magic Kart, I think I watched him at Rock Island Grand Prix. This guy has no fear. And you get him on a temporary circuit, he's going to be quick, along with Joe Rook. So I think those two are going to finish 4th and 5th, possibly work together to kind of keep themselves on the podium, because, again, they like nothing more than to be on the podium at the Super Nationals.
Yeah, I like it. And I was thinking, just come back here. One of the things, David, I was thinking about, if there's something that you changed around, that he changed around, hasn't won the Super Nats yet, got a painted helmet now. Jordan Musser's going to paint.
He does. Then maybe that's the ticket. I'm going to check photos last year. I don't know if he did or not, but while you're going through your picks, I'll double check that.
I thought he was cue ball last year too. I really did.
I'll double check that.
All right, let's here. You talked all about it. For me personally, I can't pick against David Foray. Like, the guy is literally one of the legends of karting. Like, again, you go all the way back to 1998, like you said, his first FIA karting championship, and he's just got the ability. He's just, such a great guy, and he knows the kart itself. Same as Jordan. He knows the kart as well. He knows he's going to know what he wants. Doing the double duty, I think, is going to give him such an opportunity to dial things in. Will it beat him up a little bit? I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully not. I'm right there with you with Brian Keck. I think Brian Keck and Jordan Musser are both going to be very fast. I think Keck, he's been one of those guys who can always run top 10 in a pro weekend, a pro tour weekend, whatever it may be. Maybe even potentially into the top 5 kind of thing. Something may happen, whatever it is. But he's a Masters age driver. He's one of these guys that never wants to give up the pro class to go run Masters, right? But I think him into Masters, I think he's going to be one of the guys to watch for sure. Maybe even battle Foray. It all depends on how he dials things in. I'm right there with Musser, always part of it. The one thing I'll say about the Crow Show, John Crow, he was in a go-kart all year long. He was in his shifter all year at Newcastle Motorsports Park. Works for one of the IndyCar teams there, lives in Indianapolis now. So he's been in the kart a lot. And Crow has always been really, really strong, David, at the Super Nationals. What does his record look like? 3rd last year, 9th, 5th, 3rd in Supermaster. Like, the guy, Listen, he's been in the top 5 4 of the last.
He's a former winner too. I left him out too. He won Tag Master back in 2005. I got to change that now.
There you go. Cool.
See, this is the problem with the old guys, is I got to go way beyond the number or the records I have.
Well, when John Crow's winning a Masters race back in 2005, 17 years ago too, and he was still in Masters.
Yeah, exactly. Nate, what were you in 2005?
4.
There you go.
He wasn't in kid karts yet.
No, that's so good. He wasn't in kindergarten yet. My God, that's awesome. Skitchy Barnes, folks. I've got him P5 too. I think Scott. He was trying so hard to get onto the podium for a number of years. Finished 6th, I think. Let me go back. I remember the year finishing 6th, and he was literally just gutted. That was 19. Gutted. Was right there. Couldn't do it on the final lap, and then got onto the podium last year. I think the momentum's there. Scott's really doing a lot of driving like he always does. So I think he'll be able to work his way into the top 5 as well.
Here's a quick note. You have Italkart, GFC, Burrell Art, Factory Kart, and Magic Kart. So you have 5 different brands up there.
There you go. Yeah.
Let me look at mine. I didn't even look at mine. Hold on. Burrell Art, Italkart, GFC, Magic, and Maranello. So I have 5 different. Burrell, Factory, Ital, Magic, GFC. So we all have 5 different 5 different chassis in the top 5.
Well, there you go, folks.
A lot of similar ones. We have a lot of similar picks in that. But again, I think all those top 5s are doable and workable and bettable.
Yeah. I think Nate, you did a fantastic job for your first time doing it. I think that you got a chance, depending on how things shake down, that you could, you don't need to cross your fingers. Those are all pretty good picks.
Yeah.
Sleeper picks always work. David, a lot of times you and I play it pretty safe, I think, because we just kind of figure out we know, but someone always breaks in there and blows it out of the water.
Well, I think when we do K Masters next Friday, I think that's going to be
it's wide open, man. There's so many good guys in that class. Yeah,
I know one guy I'm not picking.
100%. 100%. Yeah. I get it. 100%. But I'll tell you one thing: dinner on Sunday night is going to be amazing.
Oh
yeah, it's going to be amazing. So, folks, there you go. That's our first 5 classes in the books here on the OutLap on a primetime edition of our preview show, part of the EKN Trackside program for this year's SCUSA SuperNationals, the 25th edition of this amazing event. I'm excited to be back again for my 25th year. I'll be on Kart Chaser alongside Xander Clements, who, what year did I posted it up? What year did the Giggly Ginger first come with us? 5 years ago, probably, right?
I thought it was 2016.
Yeah, 5 or 6 years ago. I think he might have been 17 years old or 16. How old is he now?
It couldn't have been 16. It had to have been 17. So I think I had the year wrong because it was when. No, it could have been 16. Yeah, because we were looking that way for because we were there 15, 16, 17. So I think it was 16 because that would have that sounds about right because he did Daytona. I think in 2015, when I took vacation, you were there doing vacation. My job.
I had to run the broadcast. That's right.
Yeah.
But so it'll be me and Xander, and then Mike Smith, who was with me last year, is going to be back, and Xander bringing him into the fray. And Mike does a tremendous job. He's obviously a racer as well, so some great insight. I loved working with him last year. I always enjoy working with Xander. So the whole Kart Chaser crew doing that would be fun.
And he does a great job because he does the interview podcast, the full caster podcast, so he understands asking questions, and so I think hopefully they'll be putting him in the interview side of things. I know you guys are still kind of working.
I don't know how much he may do a little bit of interviews. Kendall Hedge is going to do most of that stuff.
Okay.
With me being racing as well at the same time, they're going to want to have those 2 guys in the booth. Xander, of course, this is a big broadcast, so he's going to focus a lot as well on making sure the broadcast comes across the way they want. They got some good stuff that they're putting together, so it'll be a lot of fun. We'll stream the actual audio as well as we've been doing on the EKN Radio Network. So if you can't be on your phone or on your laptop, let's say you're driving or whatever, and you just want to listen to it as well, that's available. We'll have that going throughout the weekend on the EKN Radio Network. You can download the app there. Otherwise, a ton of social media. We got 3 guys. When was the last time we had 3 people at a SuperNationals? You got to go back to.
You can't really count Blaney because he never really did work there.
That's true.
Yeah, I threw him under. Actually, the first year I was there in 2004, I will say, because he was showing me the way. I was the only guy though that was doing the posting on EKN because it was the first trackside we did.
That was the first trackside we ever did.
We were doing everything on the forums and then occasional reports here and there, but we were kind of focused on Super Pro, and we've evolved a long way since then. And really, it's great to have Nate. I mean, he has a great, unique viewpoint and aspect on the way we're presenting it. A lot of good ideas that all 3 of us have kind of brewed on, and I love the countdown graphics he's doing. It's amazing to see that, and to add in the race calls that you have. I wish we had some of them for the Schumacher one and some of the other ones that we weren't able to record. It's funny that we got some of the handheld recorders audio I saved over the years, but I love that mix, and I love those countdown graphics. It's great. And we got more in store as we got 11 days tomorrow.
11 days tomorrow. So again, folks, it's going to be a lot of fun. Again, next Friday night, 8:00. I'll actually be in Mexico with the Anderson Promotions crew, formerly the Road to Indy crew, now the USF Pro Championships crew for our staff summit down there, going straight to Vegas from there. So that'll be a lot of fun. But again, we're going to have a ton of social media at the race itself. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday on. We're going to do a bunch of interviews. We got a lot of stuff planned. Obviously, all the stuff we normally do with top 10s, that's all going to happen. A lot of photography, photo dumps, you name it. A lot of video. We're going to do some video as well. We haven't done that in the past. Hashtag EKN at SCUSA. Hashtag SuperNats25. That's pretty much the ones we're using, right, David? Hashtag karting. Hashtag Vegas.
I was going to say hashtag karting. Keep an eye
Hashtag
out
drive
for
to
that.
25, baby.
Nobody cares about you driving.
I know that's very true. That's very true. Except for myself, I guess. Right? That'll be about it. All right,
you and your fan club, right?
Yeah, that's it. We're gonna wrap this up again.
That's gonna be crazy. We'll talk more about that in the next one.
It's gonna be nuts, dude. It's gonna be crazy for sure.
I know.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm
gonna be the K master dad going.
That's it. All right, folks, again,
because I'll never give this signal.
No, God, why do you gotta do this to me for? Wow, that's crazy. Big thank you to Apparel in USA, Apparel in North America, for being our presenting sponsor of this edition of the EKN OutLap. Again, as David said, so much more to come. Daily previews, class by class, and their show coming up on Friday. Nate's going to keep cranking out stuff. We got a lot more content coming out. Tiffany Kelly's working on another article series on her program as well. So watch for some really good content coming on the website itself next week. Make sure to follow all of our social media. Watch everything on the IG story as well. A lot of stuff going on there. Everybody keeps tagging us, which is great. We're excited to get into what will be the 25th edition of the Superkarts USA SuperNationals. Thank you so much for tuning in, folks. On behalf of Nate Dean,
Oh, there it is.
David Cole, myself, Rob Howden. Bye for now.